Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast, the show you need to listen to for all things geek culture. I'm your shiny new host, Carol Ishii, and with me are my two fantastic guests. You know him, you love him. He's the former host of GBG, Ronny Diaz.
Yes, hello. I'm Ronny Diaz. As Carol said, I have stepped down from the hosting position. This does not mean I have quit Geeks by Gaslight. This does not mean that I am no longer in charge. I've kind of taken a more passive role and am now in charge of community game nights, which as of the time of this recording, we're doing one tomorrow. I've also kind of become a community manager. Basically, I've just kind of become a regular boss. Carol was more fit for the hosting position, and everyone just kind of came into agreement this was a good thing. You'll be seeing a lot of nice changes, and I am always involved with this, so trust me, this has my seal of approval. This is going to be good, guys. Just trust me on that.
The Ronny Defiance Alliance has finally achieved a small victory. And so our other guest is the great one, the spicy man with the hot takes, Guthrie Schooner.
Yeah, everything Ronny said was wrong. It was actually a hostile takeover, but it's similar to KFC. We still own the image of Ronny Diaz, so we're just giving him a script and making him say stuff. So, yeah, we're actually the evil new corporate owners.
Yeah.
And you can also listen to me on the 5 other podcasts I do. I'm on Chapo Trap House. I'm on the NPR news show, Wait, Don't Tell Me. I'm on the Pizza Party podcast. I'm on the Trumpcast. I'm on Radio Free Europe every 5 if you're in Poland, and I am not on any of those.
That was 6. Also, they're holding me by gunpoint. How?
Yeah, Cap's behind him right now with a shotgun. Don't fucking... Godspeed to that man. He's wearing a balaclava and everything. Okay.
I thought we told him to wear a pig mask.
That's right. That's right. We did do that. I forgot.
It's worse than that. He's wearing a Teletubbies uniform.
No.
That's not in our budget. Damn it.
Oh,
need to rein him in.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Getting right into the news. As of this recording, E3 ended exactly 1 month ago, so it still counts. We saw a whole lot of interesting stuff at E3, from the first gameplay trailer of Death Stranding to the announcement of Gears of War 5, and a sneak peek look at the new Super Smash Bros. So, Guthrie, what did you think about E3 as a whole, and what are you most excited to see?
So E3 has this weird effect where, like, you see a ton of cool stuff where you're like, oh man, I need to do that, and then a month later, half of that cool stuff you kind of forget about.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you see this all the time with, like, every big car game, like the ones at the Microsoft panels. Everyone's like, oh man, this is the one I'm gonna get, and then no one gets that.
That's like the fucking Forza games.
Yeah, Forza, all of the hot new racing games with the good graphics. Everyone is like, all right, I've always slept on these games. They come out every year. It's boring, but this is the one I'm gonna get, and then no one gets them.
That's actually me, because, like, I will say this: those games look fucking amazing. Like,
too bad I'm never gonna buy them.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get one of those fucking things, but despite the fact that their graphics are insane.
The graphics are insane. Most of these seem to actually play pretty fun, and I like driving games, so I think it's just the fact that none of them look like freaking Daytona Racing, so...
Honestly. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Sega reboot Daytona Racing.
Oh, they did?
And Jet Set Radio.
Oh, good for them.
No, they need...
No, I'm telling them to.
Please, Sega.
Sega reboot Daytona, bitch.
Please, Sega. They're going to shoot me if they don't.
Yes. Anyway, so overall, my thoughts on E3, like a month later, is basically 50%. Oh yeah, that was announced. That looks okay. Like, the only games that are still sticking around in my mind are Death Stranding, because Death Stranding looks awesome and has looked awesome. That samurai game from
which one?
FromSoft. Not the one at Sony, the FromSoft one, because that one sounds interesting as all. Just incredibly interesting, because basically the whole gameplay loop is blocking is our limited resource now instead of health. So you die in one hit, but you have like a limited number of blocks. So it's like kind of trying to emulate a samurai movie feel, where it's chipping the other guy down to the point where it's just one solid sword stroke to kill him, right?
It's good. It's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, it sounds really dope and a lot better than the Sony Samurai game.
Yeah,
Rage 2, Doom 2, Elder Scrolls, which I have a conspiracy theory about Todd, but we'll get that into a later segment. And I don't know, that's kind of the stuff that's sticking in my mind. Smash Ultimate, obviously.
Yes.
So hyped for that.
Yeah. Ronnie, what did you think?
Here's what stood out to me. Sakurai basically saying, never ask me for anything again.
Yeah, and then...
You literally cannot... People who post that image later went on to harass Sakurai for not putting Waluigi in.
I know, that's the whole thing. I was thinking about that earlier today. It was like, how fucked up is it that Sakurai was like, okay, I put every character in, and the biggest news story coming out of it was people memeing about Waluigi. I feel so bad for that poor man. He worked so hard.
I'm Pickle Waluigi.
Oh, no.
But,
yeah.
You see, bringing that up just kind of ruined my joke, because I was going to say, nobody asked for everyone in Smash. Like, not specifically this character, but everyone.
Yeah, because no one thought it could be done. And he specifically said...
fucking did it! The Nintendo...
You brought Snake back!
Yeah, the Nintendo ninjas just went into Konami headquarters, beat Contra without the Konami code, took Snake back and Bomberman with them.
Honestly. Yeah.
Now, if only they could save the Simpsons arcade game.
Nobody can save the Simpsons.
Fucking Bart for Smash, when? Yeah.
Dude, honestly though, like I can already see the thing where it's like the fire thing from the first trailer where they're all outlined by fire, but it's just the Bart Simpson outline.
Yeah.
And it zooms in and it's like, Bart, I eat pant.
No.
Eat pant!
No, it's Bart, and his line is, "Hey, how's it going, man?"
Hey, what's good?
Bart has so many usable catchphrases. Is the thing.
I carumba.
Yeah.
It should be one of the names from the Mo calls.
Yeah.
Like, hello, it's Mr. Ligma Bolaski.
Yeah. Oh my, no.
Bart Simpson, see more butts.
Yes.
Yes.
Bart Simpson, Pat McGroin.
When will Millhouse get a game?
Millhouse Cinematic Universe. Okay, yeah. The thing that stood out to me the most, other than the fact that we have fucking like 4 samurai games for some reason, because that's what people want.
Samurai games is the pirate games of last year.
Yes, it's so true. That was another big standout for me. Gears of War 5 is exciting, even though I'll never play it. And I mean, also The Last of Us 2 looks good. Probably just because the gameplay isn't like just okay this time. The gameplay looks solid, which is good because that was sort of one of the biggest complaints of the last game. I don't think it necessarily needed a sequel, but I'm glad we're getting it. Also, I can't wait to play the fucking Logan video game. That looks so fun.
Wait, there's a Logan video game? What?
Yeah, there is. It's called The Last of Us 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was The Last of Us 1. The Last of Us 2 is going to be the Fireflies kill Ellie's lesbian girlfriend, and then she goes on a revenge spree, and then eventually learns that revenge is bad.
Fucking say it. True.
Come on, it's literally so blatant from all the trailers, because they're all like Ellie doing extremely, almost cartoonishly violent stuff, and then there's the whole she kisses the lesbian girlfriend. So like, I'm telling you, the Fireflies are gonna kill her, and it's gonna be because she's immune to the zombies. Yeah,
that's all exciting. So in anime news, as of this recording, Anime Expo wrapped up today, and we got a ton of new announcements both before and during.
A lot of great tweets.
A lot of great tweets. Follow Guthrie. It's great.
I wasn't at Anime Expo, but there was just some great shit on my timeline.
Yeah.
Like my favorite one was, the Reimu cosplayer I fucked ended up calling me again, but I screamed into the phone, "Saturday is for the boys," and hung up on her. Followed out by the legendary, "The 3 times and once in the armpit could have been 5 times and once in the armpit."
Wait, what?
Don't question it. Don't question it. Guthrie, you
don't.
You're a magical creature. So yeah, Castlevania 2 got a release. Castlevania Season 2 got a release date.
Oh yeah, it did.
October 26th of this year. Castlevania Netflix. I haven't seen it, but I've always meant to because it looks really fucking good.
It is really fucking good. Within the first 15 minutes, they talk about fucking goats, which is like the best advertisement I can give for Castlevania.
Yeah. It just looks really well animated, really. And Castlevania is fun. We also got at Anime Expo. We sadly didn't get to see it, of course, but the first episode of the new season of JoJo's Bizarre was screened, and reception was positive, I believe, which is always good. What do you think about what we've seen so far from the new season of JoJo?
So what we've seen so far, at least what is released to the general public is a PV of, all the characters, sort of like going through each of them and getting a small tidbit of their personality. I think it's supposed to be the opening. It looks really good, very well animated. It's moving on. It's like using the Part 4 style where it's still transitioning into, Araki's more sort of femboy art style. I don't know if femboy is an offensive word. I hope it isn't. Anyway, where it's just like all the characters are a lot more like feminine looking and things like that. My main concern is not with the anime. So far, the anime has been a super faithful adaptation and really fucking good. But the problem lies in the manga because a lot of people didn't like Part 5 due to Giorno not being as interesting of a character as the others. It's kind of a thing where we'll see where it goes. No doubt it's going to get like a shit ton of viewers because it's JoJo. If JoJo don't get a shit ton of viewers, it's not JoJo. That's just my main concern because this has to do well or else, like, I won't say, the anime won't, continue, but, budget's probably going to take a bit of a hit.
Yeah, that's always a concern.
The only thought I have about Part 5 is I really need to get into JoJo because I need to see the scene where he drinks the pee by turning his teeth into jellyfish.
Wait, excuse you?
Okay. So the Part 5 main character's ability is that he can turn anything into a living object.
Okay, that's actually interesting. So he turns his teeth into jellyfish to drink pee?
Yeah,
to prove how bossy he is.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't think of anything that I would use that power for.
Well, no, okay, so he doesn't drink the pee because he wants to drink the pee. One of the guys is, fucking with him because he just joined the gang. So he pisses into the teapot, pours him tea, offers it to him, and, he drinks it. And then in the next panel, after everyone's like, yo, what the fuck, you just drank piss? It shows that he turned one of his teeth into jellyfish to absorb all the water. To absorb all the liquid. And then he changed it back.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Part 5 has super creative powers, because when you could have the ability to turn anything into a living object, it gets pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
I'm still halfway through Part 1.
Oh my god. So My Hero Academia got announced to have a first movie, I believe. First one.
Movie.
We've known about the movie, but we got more information about it. But yeah, it's the first movie.
That's really exciting.
Okay.
It's like a prequel about All Might, and it looks pretty dope so far. Even if All Might's design I don't like.
Okay, wait, but they show the characters all together in suits as well. Is it a prequel?
We've known it's gonna be focusing on young All Might, so I think that might be a bridging element into say All Might talking about oh yeah, here's how it was when I was younger. I don't know. That's just what I've heard.
We should never see his eyes. Ever.
Right? That's the thing. We shouldn't hit his eyes need to have black sclera. My computer screen just went black, so clearly it agrees.
Oh.
It's back, don't worry.
When the design's so bad, it causes technology to fail.
Yeah.
But that's not true because I've seen far worse designs and the computer doesn't do anything.
Yeah. It's just, your computer has very, very strong opinions on My Hero Academia.
True, though.
Yeah, I need to watch My Hero Academia. It always looks good. And I remember once, because I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball, I watched a lot of videos on Super, and then randomly the YouTube algorithm just decided I liked My Hero Academia, and I didn't even watch any videos on it. It was just like, here's all the My Hero Academia
You
stuff.
like Dragon Ball Super? Well, My Hero Academia is about superheroes.
Oh, yeah. No, but yeah.
It's basically like the Sandman arc.
Right. Yeah, so that was just funny. But I just saw a bunch of videos on it that I didn't want. At the same time, I was like, oh, this actually looks kind of cool.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Me and Ronny have a running bet about it that's getting more intense as the series goes on.
And I'm getting more and more correct each and every fucking time.
I don't know, man. I feel like I could win this, but...
You could win this, but at this point, the odds are looking in my favor, Guthrie.
Yeah. What's the bet on?
It'd be spoilers.
We can't say.
Oh, oof.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Speaking of Dragon Ball, by the way.
the Dragon Ball movie.
The Dragon Ball movie title got announced, and it is... Oh boy, makes me excited, and for all the wrong reasons. Dragon Ball Super Broly. So your boy is back, and he's more Kakarot than ever.
I think my favorite part about this new Dragon Ball movie is the statement Toriyama made, which includes the statement, apparently I designed Broly.
Yeah.
Power maximum!
When you don't remember if you've designed one of the most iconic characters in a series that you created.
I know, right?
But it makes sense for Toriyama because he wasn't really involved in a lot of the animated stuff.
Yeah. So I'm really
excited. It's not been something that he's ever been that involved in, so it makes sense, but it's also hilarious because I'm like, dude.
God. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. One, because Broly, but two, because... Okay, here's the thing. Broly kind of sucks, but his fans give him too much love, and his haters also give him too much hate. Because here's the thing. Broly is one of the best, like, fucking designs of any Dragon Ball villain. Better than any of the other movie characters, I think. Arguably better than, I think... I think he has a better design than Super Boo. Like, Fat Boo is fun, Kid Boo is fucking insane, Super Boo kind of sucks.
Cell?
Yeah.
I mean, Cell could give Broly a run for his money.
Yeah, Cell's great.
It's just down to what design philosophy you subscribe to.
Yeah. Nothing's gonna top Frieza for me. And the lore behind him is super interesting. Like the fact that he was like the prophesized Saiyan of legend, like the one that everyone thought Goku was, it was actually him. That always was very interesting to me.
Also makes it better because Goku is literally just some random scrub.
Yeah, and yeah, so it makes it, that was so interesting. But let me just say, Broly 1 is not a bad movie by Dragon Ball standards.
I love how you have to specify by Dragon Ball standards.
Yeah, it's not gonna be fucking. It's not Citizen
Kane.
It's not Shawshank Redemption, but it's a good. You get to see people punch things and Piccolo be a badass. So, I like that movie, and Vegeta's good.
It is the Expendables of.
It's the Expendables of Dragon Ball. That's pretty accurate.
It's the Dark Souls of Dragon Ball.
Honestly, Broly is the Dark Souls of Dragon Ball. But the thing about Broly is that, from like a character study perspective, he's the worst. He's kind of the worst. So having Toriyama like change things around about him makes it interesting, and the fact that Frieza's going to be alive in the same universe as Broly, which could help with the whole prophesized one to defeat Frieza thing, that makes it double interesting. So I'm really excited to see what this goes in the continuation of Dragon Ball Super. Okay.
Frieza dies forever.
Frieza dies. No, never. They're just gonna keep coming back because Super. Yeah, so moving on to movie news, Marvel Studios has released their 20th movie, that being Ant-Man and the Wasp, to moderate but still critical acclaim. That means
I mean, at this point, we're 20 movies in. It's like if you don't like Marvel movies, you have a pretty reasonable idea that the new one isn't going to make you like them.
Yeah, I suppose. But guys, this means 10 years, 20 goddamn movies. Oh my lord. 21 if you count the greatest movie ever made, which is going to be Venom this November, sorry.
No, it's 21 if you count the first MCU movie, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck for the Avengers when?
Honestly, though, when is Howard the Duck going to join the Avengers?
They're going to save him for the Marvel Zombies movie.
Howard for Smash.
If a Marvel Zombies movie actually happens, I'm going to blow my brains out.
Yeah, that's going to be... Yeah.
I think the only good part is going to be seeing Tom Holland eat... what's her name? I forgot her name because I don't remember the names of actors.
Who?
I don't know. Who's Mary Jane in Homecoming?
Zendaya?
Yeah. Tom Holland is going to have to cannibalize Zendaya.
Oh, that's fucking glorious. So yeah, what do you think about like a 10-year, 20-movie history? Like this shit's never been done before on this scale, and I know everyone's
insane. It's honestly insane. You know, I'm not like the biggest fan of Marvel movies, but for what they are, you know, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I love
which is something I appreciate. You know.
Yeah, I love these movies a lot. They always find a way to innovate, despite the fact that they're working on relatively similar premises for the most part, and sticking to the genre of superhero while also not making it a genre. You know, they're like, oh, Captain America's a political thriller, Iron Man's sci-fi, Thor's fantasy, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy is space opera. It's just, you know, it's just fun. And, you know, with Ant-Man, it was like this sort of quirky, zany sci-fi comedy thing that has some very human moments in it. And while I don't think the movie is by any means the best, some of Marvel, the best thing Marvel's ever done.
I mean, nothing's gonna ever top the Captain America, the First Avenger.
I still think Cap 2 is my favorite one. That and Black Panther.
Black Panther is good, but is it as good as Captain America, the First Avenger? I don't know. I haven't seen that movie since 2012.
First Avenger? First Avenger was so good. Okay,
I know it's good. I just haven't watched it in forever.
I think my favorite is the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is my favorite.
Fucking rad.
I don't know. See, here's the thing. I've seen Winter Soldier like 13 times because I love it. And I honestly, but see, I've only seen Black Panther once, so I only really like. I feel like Black Panther might be better, but I'd have to see it more times to know. I want to get it on Blu-ray. I think it's out on Blu-ray already, so I should probably go pick it.
It's out.
Yeah. So yeah, Marvel has a crazy history. It's so impressive what they managed to do with all these characters that, you know, fans have loved for years but haven't really been accessible to the masses. They made Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man nearly household names.
Honestly, say what you will about Marvel movies, but they were able to turn Hank Pym and Star-Lord into household names.
Yeah.
It's also hot take. The most popular these characters have been since like the 90s. So,
I think more popular than the 90s.
Well, by far, I said most, but yeah, more popular than they've ever been. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. With
like
the exception
turning
of
these semi obscure characters into like genuine cultural touchstones.
Yeah,
it's like pretty cool. So
yeah.
Anyway, when's the Blue Beetle movie, DC bitch?
Oh yeah. Speaking of Blue Beetle, we have some sad news. A legend of Marvel and DC Comics has passed on. Steve Ditko died at the ripe young age of 92. He created a lot of iconic characters, including Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and the aforementioned Blue Beetle. He's done a ton of work for the industry. What are your thoughts on the passing of Steve Ditko?
It's an absolute shame because both he was completely screwed over by the big two. You know, both DC was better at it, but like Marvel underpaid him and just all of that. And then the other thing is he still kept making comics. Like he put out comics last year that are still great. So
yeah,
it's just, honestly, for 91, Steve Ditko passed too soon.
Yeah, I think it was 92.
91.
It was 91?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Steve Ditko, you know, such an amazingly talented writer and artist, just passed too soon, honestly.
Yeah. Well, he had a long life.
He did.
And the man was notoriously reclusive in, you know, both in life and in interviews, so there's not much that was known about his personal life. He in his own words, he said he preferred to let his comics and his work speak for itself rather than anything that he could say with words. Yeah, it's just sad to see him go, but it's important that we remember him and recognize the impact that he had.
Yep, and while we're talking about this, y'all better go and read Steve Ditko comics. You can get them online; they're still good. So
yeah. Read comics, everybody.
Read Doctor Strange. Read Spider-Man. Read God, I'm trying to think what else. The Question.
Yeah, read any of those old Fawcett Comics characters, like you know, Captain Atom. If you know.
Yeah, Captain Atom is actually cool. Is the thing.
Captain Atom's fucking great. I didn't like what they did with him in. Because they're like, hey, what if we made him Dr. Manhattan?
Even though Dr. Manhattan was literally supposed to be Captain Atom originally.
He was supposed to be Captain Atom, and
half of Watchmen was supposed to be like plays off of Ditko characters, like Captain Atom, Rorschach was the Question, you know, all that.
Was it Owlman was Blue Beetle, right? Ted Cord?
Yeah, Owlman was based off of Ted Cord, Blue Beetle.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's sad to see him go, but he had a good life, and all the best wishes to his family.
He had a good, fulfilling life, so...
Yeah, best wishes to his family. That's it for news, but now we're going to move on to our favorite segments. Something brand new, I think you're going to like it. Guthrie's Hot Takes. Guthrie, take it away.
Alright, welcome to our new segment, Guthrie's Hot Takes, where I just say shit and you get mad, okay? It is now currently 3:28 p.m. PST, KFC. Don't fuck with me, and we're about to roll into these takes. So first off, new segments are good. If you complain about change because we're introducing a new segment or changing the host or whatever, well, I mean, don't watch, okay? Because this is good. Objectively good. You're just sleeping on it. 2, I had lunch about an hour and a half ago. Someone said that cucumber wasn't that good. No! Cucumber is. It's legitimately a good vegetable that adds moisture to any dish while also being a green, rich in those vitamins and minerals that get you strong, you fucking 6-year-old monkey. Like, actually, people who don't like vegetables, it's because they have a chimpanzee brain that just constantly thinks, gee, I should stone to death a wild boar and eat its meat raw. Okay? 3, Samurai Champloo, better than Cowboy Bebop. Okay? Let me repeat that. The Rapping Samurai anime is better than the YouTube video essay anime. Alright? It's because it's funner. Alright? 4, fuck you. Funner is a word, okay? Now I'm gonna get some water. Because 5, we should oppress English language purists. People who complain about how LOL isn't a word or whatever, they genuinely deserve oppression. You know? Deny them the right of free speech. 6, acting like just because it's an opinion that you have means you're immune from criticism is dumb because they're genuinely some dumb opinions, okay? People genuinely hold terrible views and acting like they have the right to hold them just because, you know, it's an opinion and everything is subjective. You're fucking stupid.
So, we're back. Ronnie, why don't you start us off? What did you bring today for recommendations?
Alright, today I brought a game that is near and dear to my heart. It is called Under Night in Birth EXE Late ST.
God.
It's not even the full name.
Okay, Ronny.
Say the full name.
Say the full name. Do it.
Fine. It's Under Night in Birth. It's Under Night in. Oh, whoa, shit! They changed it for this one, actually. They changed it for this one. I remember the old one though.
Okay, do the old one. Do the.
It's okay. So for the previous edition, it is Under Night in Birth, Thousand Night Recurrence Night, Reverie and Invite, and 7 Days Immortal, Unreal, Black Things, EXE Late. Mind you, the new one is longer.
Oh, okay. I say,
oh my god.
This is what Dre said between ones, and I fucking agree. Under Night in Birth, one of my favorite fighting games, but god does it have the worst title. Because what the fuck is In Birth? That just sounds gross. It sounds so gross.
I know what it is, and it is.
Sorry, side tangent. I'm looking at the full title on the latest version.
Okay.
The Deep Darkness of the Hollow Knight, New Shells of Incarnation, all right, or a light. One Swing of a Sword, Sinuous White Snake, Savage Fangs of the Beast, Tonight, The Deepest Night, Blessing for All Who Confront. What the fuck?
That's a Toho game title.
Actually.
That's... Fuck this game.
Okay, I prefer...
Meanwhile, this Capcom Small Brains, Street Fighter.
Oh, it's like that meme where like the smart until the it just starts off with fucking Street Fighter and then the titles get longer and longer until he gets Under Night.
Yeah, I prefer,
and then it leaps to Mortal Kombat.
I prefer the EXE Late title just because like fucking it flows better.
Oh, it doesn't. None of them flow. They don't flow at all.
Look, regardless, Under Night in Birth, EXE Late ST, near and dear to my heart. I'm more familiar with EXE Late. I only got this about 2 days ago, but playing through it, there have been changes for the better. Because here's the thing, they did if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, arcade mode is the same. Like, we get the new stories for the other 4 characters, but everyone else's arcade mode is the same. The character movesets have not been changed. And while some might say, but changes in character movesets like is better. The thing is that Under Night in Birth...
If the game works, then you don't need to change anything.
Yeah, like, EXE Late was fucking solid.
Yeah, that's the thing. Under Night in Birth works. It's such a solid fighting game. It's fun to play. It's pretty easily accessible, I think. But the thing is, once you really commit to playing a character, you can get really good. And
basically all the characters are viable.
Yeah. I mean, except Chaos, because Chaos sucks. But
throwing some fucking shade. Under Night in Birth is one of the most mechanically solid fighting games I've ever played, and like I'm like a fighting game veteran here. I've got fucking, at least for Arxis, I've got fucking Persona 4 Arena and Ultimax. I played Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator, fucking Skullgirls, Marvel
Melty Blood,
Capcom 3. I have Melty Blood. Haven't played much of it. Also mechanically really good, but not as good as Under Night in Birth. Under Night in Birth fucking works, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
What I'll say about Late ST is that currently I'd say this is the definitive version of Under Night in Birth because it adds things like a tutorial mode that goes from like beginner to fucking veteran.
Really? Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah, so it teaches you, dude. There are mission modes that like, in the tutorial there are missions that are like fucking aerial blocks, grab cancels, and I bring up aerial blocks because no one actually fucking bothers to teach you that. Aerial shield, fucking stun ends, everything. It fucking tries to teach you, and it's amazing. Yeah. Not only that, there's mission modes. There's an actual story mode, which isn't like a full story. It's all the prologues that lead into the arcade modes, which I think is pretty cool, or at least that's as far as I've reached. And it even gives like interesting character details through that story mode, like you know Orie, right?
Yeah.
Fucking in EXE Late, she's super high class, you know, she looks that way. And then in the Chronicle mode, it's revealed she's actually not comfortable acting that way. She was in no way raised like that, and that's just a part of a mission.
That's great. That's class.
Yeah, she's not in her element with that, and it's fucking great to learn little details like that. Or how Hilda brought a toy train set to Gordo's bar at one point.
Because of course.
Yeah, or Gordo having a best friend named Roger.
Just fucking Roger.
Just fucking Roger, right? It's fucking...
In a series where you have characters named Chaos, Roger is probably the best name of them all.
I mean, there's just one fuckboy named Seth in there, so it's sort of normal.
Oh yeah, there's Seth.
Yeah, there's Seth. Oh my god.
There's new stages, new characters. I haven't played them yet, but they seem fun. Enkido looks pretty cool because he's basically just Street Fighter in Under Night, and I'd say pick this up. I got it on a lightning deal on Amazon for $30, but I think you can regularly pick this up for around $50, maybe $45. And
of course, as time goes on, it'll drop in price, and it's not like fighting games are going to be vastly different from when you buy them.
Yeah. Also, like, it's Under Night in Birth. It's a fairly obscure game, and they tried to like up the notoriety of it with cross tag, but I think the problem with that is that everyone will just play cross tag for them.
Yeah,
there's really a lot to unpack in Under Night in Birth, and even then, I will say this: while this is the definitive version of Under Night in Birth, you can still not go wrong with buying EXE Late. Because, like, while this does have all the new bells and whistles, all of the characters are fundamentally the same. So, if you're fine with missing out on a couple of extra modes, albeit tutorial mode being really nice, but if you're fine on missing out on shit like that and just want a game where you can just blaze through arcade mode and have fun with your friends, EXE Late is still a really good pickup on Steam for like $30, and even then 10 on a sale. So both of these games, I'd highly recommend picking it up. I think the others can attest too.
Yeah, it's just solid.
Yeah. I remember the first time I played Under Night in Birth. I didn't want it. Looked like there's like some weeb garbage. But it to an extent it is, but when I played it, something about the game just stuck with me. I played it at Ronny and we almost share a birthday. We're a day apart, so we had like a joint birthday party, and Ronny busted out this game that he had picked up it was at a or was it at like GameStop?
I got it at GameStop for around $10 because I heard of I heard a YouTuber I watched talk about it. I'm like, hey, I like fighting games. I'm interested in that. Never saw a copy, and then I saw it, picked it up. Yeah. When
I first played it, like something just kind of stuck with me, and I just kept thinking about it for a while ago. And then I think I went back and asked to play it again, like one other time. And then at that point, I just couldn't get the game out of my head. So I went out and I bought it. It was I have a Mac and it was PC, so I had to throw on the old boot camp. And I picked my main is Lynn, and I played that game sometimes for like 9 hours straight. On a few days, I played it for like 3 weeks for so long, and I got really, really good. In a very, like, after about 3 months, I was better than in that game than I was in pretty much any other game I've ever played. I just even though I didn't even love the game at first, it just stuck with me as just being an incredibly intuitive, incredibly smooth, incredibly action-heavy fighting game. That just the gameplay is so good. It's just fun. It's just really fun, and it's really, you can go in depth and you can discover things about characters that you've been playing for the longest time that you didn't even know were there. Like, I just discovered, like yesterday or today almost. I just discovered today that my main, who I've had so many hours in, had this secret move that I didn't know how to do. And so you keep discovering things, and now, like, my approach game is going to be miles ahead, and I can shield break much easier. It's just good. It's just a solid game, and you should play it. It's really fun.
Yeah, Under Night in Birth is one of those games that, like, you can have both characters dash attack, end up knocking each other on different sides of the screen, and just the 1 second pause where you stare at your opponent and rush in again. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's just a good game, honestly. I need to play more of it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Your Byakuya was really good.
Yeah.
It is. I got rusty because my computer broke, but now it's back, so
Well, we'll
gotta
get your training
begin
back
practicing.
in order, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rocky montage, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Guthrie, what did you bring?
So, I was thinking for my recommendation thing to talk about a classic anime that no one in the West has actually watched because it hasn't been out in the West until, like, I don't know, like a few years ago. Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It's so basically it's a very 80s anime in a lot of ways. It's very melodramatic, you know, the character design is good. It's very 80s, but the thing that sets it apart is it's basically a space opera. And when I say space opera, I mean space opera. Like, half of the music that they use literally comes from opera. Like, I'm actually shocked that they haven't used anything, I don't think, from Der Ring, because basically the whole plot is, like, you have the democratic rebels and then the evil galactic empire. Only they're not rebels, they're the Alliance of the Alliance of Free Planets. I think that's the name. Everyone just says the Alliance, so I forget what they're actually called. So, you know, you think it's a pretty standard Star Wars setup. You have the good democratic guys and the evil empire. Except it turns out that the democratic side is completely incompetent and corrupt, and the empire side is like the most ideal dictatorship to ever exist. So basically the combat comes down to what's better, a corrupt democracy or an ideal dictatorship. It's this very, very heavy character-driven space drama, and it's just incredibly good. It's also incredibly long. It has 110 episodes, of which I'm on 50. And I'm trying to think what else to say about it, but I think the biggest draw is how kind of timeless it is. Because basically, you know, this was made in the 80s. And it's actually an adaptation of a bunch of Japanese sci-fi books. But it feels very relevant. Like, there's an arc that I'm not going to really get into it, but it literally, it feels like the author was reflecting the goddamn Iraq War. But he wasn't. So, yeah.
That's really interesting. See, I hadn't even heard of this until just right before the podcast started recording, and you told me to put this on. Yeah, I had no idea what this is. But just your description of it alone makes me really want to watch it. Because you don't see, like, you don't usually see stuff about, like, good quote-unquote good dictatorships in media, and that's very interesting concept.
Yeah, it's very conceptually... Oh, sorry.
No, keep going.
Yeah, it's very conceptually interesting at a lot of the points you bring up, because, as you said, it's very rare to see media bring up like a ideal or benevolent dictatorship, and usually when they do, it's because the media is, like, inherently pro-dictatorship, and it's like, see, authoritarianism is good, actually, which isn't actually the point of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and if you think so, I'm sorry, but you're illiterate because half of this anime, well, to explain to it, I can't. The thing is it's better to experience it for yourself, so I can't give away too much spoilers. Let's just say, for as an ideal dictatorship as it is, it's still a dictatorship.
No, yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, because basically, I'll go a bit into the characters. So it focuses on basically 4 main protagonists. There is Siegfried Kircheis, who's kind of the sidekick to the main Imperial character, Reinhardt von Lohengram, and then on the Alliance side there is Yang Wen Li and his sidekick Julian Mintz. So basically, both Reinhardt and Yang, and by the way, everyone just calls him Lohengram, but I refuse to call him by his noble name. They're both genius military strategists for opposite sides in a war, with actually kind of roughly similar ideals. Lohengram is introduced as being anti the current governance system of the Empire, because basically you'll see what happens, because at first the Empire is not all that ideal. And then Yang Wen Li is introduced as being a commander in the Alliance Armed Forces. And so a lot of the drama comes from the fact that because the two of each other exist, no side can truly win. It just goes into a lot of philosophical and ethical debates, like, is killing in war just? And if you kill someone in a war, are you allowed to, experience joy knowing that you've, kept others from experiencing that same stuff? Is it murder, that type of thing? Yeah, is it murder? How far does following orders go? Are you allowed to use tragedy to your own benefit? What's honorable in a war? It's more than just it's more than democracy versus authoritarianism and Yang versus Reinhardt. But then I'd say the later two are kind of the focus.
That's that's fascinating.
Yeah. So, Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It's really good. Although I will say, it takes up until about episodes. It's good from the beginning, albeit a bit slow, because it opens on a space battle. But because this is because anime is expensive, it's slow. Especially this one, because it has 300 voiced characters.
Wow, Jesus.
Yep. 300 voiced characters, 110 episodes, excluding movies. This is very successful in Japan, I might add. It just never came out in the West, but if you live in the West, or you have a VPN, you can watch it on highdive.com, which you get a monthly subscription to for, I believe it's now $5 a month. And
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good deal for what it gives you, because High Dive has more than that. It also has Pat Labor, which is a cop comedy, but all of the cops have mechs.
Oh my god.
It's fucking great.
It's as wild as you imagine. There's an episode where one of the cops some of the comedy comes from the fact that all of the main character cops are complete dipshits.
Oh my god.
And one of them, he only joins the force to fire a gun. They're a hostage situation. He's like, man, I can't let this guy be a hostage anymore. He pulls his mech's gun, which by the way is a cannon, and shoots it into the house where the hostage situation is taking down. And the only reason he didn't kill 3 people, including the hostage, is because the mechanic was smart enough to load a blank in.
Oh,
that's amazing.
So, you know what happens? A horror and police violence themed Halloween episode.
Oh.
It's great.
Wait. Okay, so but back to Legend of the Galactic.
Yeah, back to... I'm just saying there's more to High Dive than just Legend of the Galactic Heroes, although that is one of the main draws of the service. But especially because the only way to get this series is a limited Blu-ray box set for $800.
Okay.
And there's 1,000 of those box sets. So if you want it physical, eat shit.
Oh. You're gonna have to kill a man. 2 men.
Basically. Yeah, so back to Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
The way you were describing it, it sounded to me like Code Geass, but more civil.
That actually isn't that bad of a way to describe it from what I've seen of Code Geass, because I haven't seen Code Geass.
Let me describe it. One guy dislikes the current form of government because they're racist. Other guy works with that current form of government, despite being the discriminated race, in order to basically not infiltrate the government, but gain their trust, make his way to the higher ranks, and change the government from inside. Both similar ideals, just very different ethical viewpoints, which then leads into mecha fights that result in a lot of people dying. Yeah.
That's actually... Okay, that's pretty similar, actually, to Legend of the Galactic Heroes, because Reinhardt doesn't like the Imperial government. And Yang, obviously, also doesn't like it, at least at the start. Because, here's something I forgot to add. This is all based in real politics. It's not like fantasy Star Wars stuff. And, you know who founded the Galactic Empire?
Who?
A racist.
Oh, that sounds...
It's actually...
Sounds about right.
Here's the thing. All of the Imperial side is white German speakers. And then the Alliance side is a diverse cast of various other nationalities, and the main character is of Chinese descent. So you can obviously see where some divides begin to form.
Okay.
Although I will say, despite Yang being Chinese and the Alliance being non-racist, this is still an 80s anime, so there's actually some very unfortunate implications. Like when there's a black guy walking around on Yang's ship, and what he does is he points at him, and he goes, "What's that?"
Oh, no.
In context, it's better, because he's basically asking, wait, I know that guy, he isn't supposed to be working here, so why is he on my ship? But still very unfortunate because of the pointing in, what's that?
Oh.
Like, Yang, you're on the non-racist side.
Oh,
Your ancestors were exiled for being Chinese.
Yeah, 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still an 80s anime. I have some issues with it, but I think for what it is at the time, and still what it is now, it's very good. It's also incredibly well staged. Like, usually space battles in a lot of media aren't particularly good to watch, because it basically boils down to confusing cuts of, like, dogfights. But that doesn't really happen here, because they're smart about being able to stage stuff so you know where the battles are happening. Better than the reboot in any case.
Okay.
So, Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Watch it on High Dive for $5.99 a month, or if you are incredibly wealthy, buy it for $1,000.
Okay. Alright, that's interesting.
I don't know what else to say about it because neither of you have watched it.
Yeah. I guess should we just move on to mine?
Yeah, I guess just move on to yours, honestly.
Okay. So at first I was going to bring in Dragon Ball FighterZ, but since Ronny also did an fighting game, I felt like that might not be a good idea. So I have since changed my mind, and I'm going to be talking about it's still going to be Dragon Ball, but it's going to be a special that's very near best things Dragon Ball has ever done, and that is Dragon Ball Z: The History of Trunks. Cause god damn is this good. It's like it's between this and Bardock and Bardock Father of Goku that I think are some of the best animated Dragon Ball, just like best animation wise and just best Dragon. Because
sorry, I just want to put this out there. I feel like Dragon Ball Super did us a disservice when they covered the history of Trunks. It just did not work as well with the current art style. I'm just gonna
I disagree. Watch some of the animations. Watch if you don't like what Dragon Ball Super did, with Future Trunks, ending aside, because the ending was horseshit, but everyone knows that. Watch the politics of Goku Black versus Trunks, and later on Zamasu versus Trunks, and how it wasn't just about you hurt people, I'm going to stop you. It was about what it means to be human, what it means to be mortal, and what the role of gods should be. And it got very interesting. But that aside, talking about history of Trunks. So Future Trunks is a character who we saw snippets of his past, but there was a lot about him that we didn't know. We knew he was the son of Vegeta, was his mother. We knew he was a Super Saiyan that had all these abilities, but we didn't know, and we knew who the androids were, but we didn't know exactly how he became who he became. So, it starts out with the movie starts out, or the special starts out with the androids killing all of the main characters. Like, we heard about it, but we didn't actually see it. We didn't see Krillin just get both of his eyes blasted in by the androids, and have Vegeta, Tenshinhan, Chaozu, just all systematically killed. Yamcha goes out. And Goku's not even there, and it just paints a very bleak timeline of the Dragon Ball world, and you're just sort of left with not much. There's not much left. But and then you sort of zoom in on future Gohan and what Gohan would have been like in this, having this, horrible upbringing. Because, admittedly, Gohan had a pretty horrible upbringing in the first place with the whole, almost dying multiple times.
Compared to the Future Trunks timeline, it's downright rosy.
I know!
That kid had fucking daddy issues.
Screw you, Goku was a great dad. He loved his child, even though he liked punching more.
But Piccolo best dad.
Piccolo best dad. Piccolo is the greatest dad ever. I love you. But yeah, and it's just it's so sad because you see how much of an impact. That's one of the great things about History of Trunks, is that when Gohan takes on Trunks as an apprentice, you see how much of an impact Piccolo had on Gohan's life, because his training methods are very similar to how Piccolo trained him. Of course, he was a little more reasonable and compassionate than Piccolo was. Like, he didn't make Gohan go, or Trunks survive alone in the wilderness for all that time. But yeah, it's just really special. And I don't think there'll be everyone loves the original Super Saiyan transformation of Goku on Namek, but maybe even the one in Gohan's Ascension Cell, but I'll be damned if one of the best, if not the best, Super Saiyan transformation that we've ever seen was Trunks' first Super Saiyan after finding Gohan's body. It really tugs at your heart. It makes you, feel like I'm getting sad thinking about it.
I find that was probably one of the best animated scenes in all of Dragon Ball.
It is. The rain is pouring down, and you just sees the tears pouring down his face, but then the tears start to rise up when he turns Super Saiyan, and he pounds the ground and it cracks under the weight of his fist. Gohan's just body is lifeless as he knew that if Trunks was going to go with him, he was going to die, and as little chance as he had to try. He had to do something, and that was what Trunks needed to push him over the edge. Because it's so interesting to think of future Trunks not knowing anything but this. All of the death and all of the loss, it didn't affect him in the same way it did Gohan. Because I would imagine either maybe it's sort of like a fan theory in my head that Gohan's first Super Saiyan transformation was at the death of Piccolo. I have no way to confirm that, but it always made sense to me.
It makes sense.
So it was just, it's so sad to see that part of the world, and how fucking scary the androids were, because they were just these like rambunctious teens who just didn't give a fuck, and there's the scene.
And you're immune to everything.
Yeah, there's like what can you do? And they're doing, and it's not like they're doing it because they have a reason. They're doing it because they think it's fun, and that's like, oh well, I can just take over the world because I got nothing else on, and that's the type of people that we are.
Like, Jesus, androids, learn to fucking like draw or something.
Oh yeah, find a hobby.
Range those fucking parks.
Range those parks. Yeah.
Dragon Ball Dojin, where someone introduces them to video games and they all don't do shit after that.
Honestly.
Gamers rise up.
Gamers don't rise up ever, but yeah.
Gang weed.
Yeah. History of Trunks is not only a great thing to contextualize everything that going that moves forward in the series, like everything in the Cell arc and even a lot of the stuff in the Goku Black arc of Super. It's just a marvelous piece of a bleak, hopeless world that you don't see much of in Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball is even though it has its dark fucking moments,
Dragon Ball is overall very like optimistic and uplifting.
Yeah, it's happy. Like
it all still gets its lineage from the OG Dragon Ball with Kid Goku.
Yeah, with Kid Goku going on a happy quest to find the Dragon Balls, fighting Emperor Pilaf. Maybe you'll run into
da 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 da. Yeah. So like Dragon Ball still gets its lineage from that, but Dragon Ball could also be incredibly fucking dark.
It can be really dark. It can just be really depressing. And it's just a great. Oh, man, I can gush about this for ages, but I don't want to go on for too long.
Me with Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah. I actually have it on VHS, despite me not having it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
We gotta watch that at some point.
Yeah, dude. I was like looking around because like when I was gonna bring I was doing a for Ronny was just talking about a fighting game. He's gonna talk about a fighting game. I just looked around for a second. I was like, oh hey, History of Trunks is on my shelf. I'll just talk about that because it's great.
It's a solid recommendation. So
yeah, it's a really solid recommendation. Go watch that, and then if you also like Dragon Ball and you want to see another special, go watch Bardock, Father of Goku. But yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z: The History of Trunks. It's really good. It serves to contextualize all of the Android saga and the Cell saga, and it's just a really interesting story. So yeah, go watch it. That's it for me. I think that's everything that we have to talk about here.
Yeah, we went through the news and then the hotcakes and then the recommendations. So
I think that's it. So
yeah, I will say when wrapping up, something I haven't looked into this myself, but something that's worth looking into is that fan comic for Dragon Ball that I think is officially licensed now, where it's a Yamcha fanboy gets transported into the body of Yamcha.
Yes, the Yamcha manga. Okay, that's done now, and it was three volumes.
Yeah, it was short. It's not like a long thing.
And it was published by I believe it was published by Shueisha. So yeah, it was licensed. Oh my god, it was so. It's so funny. So it's over now, and it's not really a story heavy thing because it's Dragon Ball. But
what do you mean Dragon Ball doesn't have a story?
Oh, of course it has a story, but I'm saying like it's like a Dragon Ball joke. It's a Dragon Ball joke. So basically the way it ends is Yamcha finds out that that he's not the only person from the real world that comes in, and the other person who came in is in the body of Chaozu. So there's a fight at the end between two Dragon Ball nerds in the body of Yamcha and Chaozu, you know, the other weakest character. And it's so funny. It's so good.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so basically what happens in that is that he thinks ahead, and he's like, oh shit, I know Yamcha gets Cybermen and, you know, bodied and destroyed in, you know, against Nappa in Sayonara. So what he does is he thinks ahead and he goes to planet Namek in the year time he has, and then gets his hidden power awakened by Guru. So he just comes back to Earth and whoops some Saiyan ass.
Nice.
Wolfang Fist gets its revenge.
Oh. Oga Fufuken. I'm sorry, I'm a weeb. I'm a weeb about Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, that's
We're
it.
all weebs about something.
Yeah, it's fair. That's it for this edition of the Geeks by Gaslight podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. You can follow us on Twitter at Geeks by Gaslight. And Guthrie, where can we find you?
I'm at the DK on Twitter. If you want to hear me tweet about how cucumbers are underrated and why the current Tomb Raider games are terrible.
Okay, and Ronny, where can we find you?
I am Ronny Diaz 99, that is with a capital R. You can also find me on the Geeks by Gaslight Discord server, and pretty much you can find me anywhere within Southern California if you try hard enough. If you find me and
you have to find him, he won't seek you out.
Yeah, I won't seek you out, you have to find me. I will personally get you one soda. This is only for the first person that does so. So, yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Free soda.
Yeah. Do I get a free soda if I find...
No, because you already know where I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have to be hidden to be found.
Okay.
Ronny Diaz Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I'll be the last man standing.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at TheCarolIshii. That is ISHEE. Yeah, thanks for listening. Join our Discord, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Watch Legend of Galactic Heroes.
And play Under Night in Birth.
I'm sorry for party rocking.